Break out the carrot sticks and natural yogurt, no artificial hormones added. It's time for the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Dr. Lewis and Janet have a long history of helping people achieve their maximum potential. While Janet is a certified natural health consultant with a unique perspective of alternative and complementary nutrition, Dr. Lewis stays current on the latest research pertaining to nutritional supplements and optimum health. Paramount to their educational journey was their trip to China while studying Chinese medical doctors. Dr. Lewis and Janet know the importance of proper nutrition in the healing process and maintenance of the human body. Get ready to gain a healthy perspective on life. This is the Doctor's Nutrition Show.
Hello and welcome to this week's show. I'm Janet Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Lewis.
And we are Doctors Nutrition of Texas, where we help you with your nutritional solutions for your common health issues. We appreciate you listening to this week's show and all of our shows. Appreciate all of our followers out there. And this week we've got another interesting topic coming to you since Dr. Lewis is the thyroid expert about thyroid. We're calling this one Thyroid 101. Is your thyroid in emergency need of critical care? Or is it missing nutrients? Or what's going on with it exactly? Or maybe you don't even realize you have a thyroid problem. And Dr. Lewis is going to discuss a little bit about some of the things that might alert you to actually pay attention to your thyroid and realize that maybe, hey, I've got an issue going on here and that's something he can help me with. Our website is A Cut Above, and that's ACUT because I speak Texan, A Cut Above Naturals with an S on the end.com, where you can find all kind of health-related articles, health surveys, more of our shows that we've done online, and any kind of information you'd like to know about us. So with that in mind, Dr. Lewis, can you tell us about our thyroid and why we may have an issue with it?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for everyone that has shared our podcast with other people. We're getting so many people in that are able to get help. Janet says she talks Texan, but she's uppity Texan because she's Fort Worth. I'm redneck Texan because I'm rural.
Rural, you heard that? Yes, go ahead.
Well, you spoke so fast I can't comprehend that, but we have a lot of fun here, and it's amazing how many people come in from different states. We appreciate it, and the other thing is that my thoughts ramble a lot, and Janet kind of keeps me reeled in and keeps me a bit more organized. So if there's a repeat in some of this, it's okay. It bears repeating because of the importance. I'd like to remind people that if you want to get well, it's a matter of commitment. It's a matter of consistency. And keep in mind you're getting toxins every day. So you have to detox or give your body a high enough amount of nutrients to do that. And there's a young man the other day, really nice. He said, well, prove to me that I need nutrients. I don't take nutrients. I don't take aspirin. I don't take anything. And nice guy. I said, well, it's obvious you eat really, really good because your glucose, A1C, and triglycerides are all perfect where they need to be. But if eating was all it took, why is your lab such a big mess? It's a big, hot mess. Why is this wrong, this wrong, this wrong? Not even within range, even though it wouldn't be optimal, but way out of range. So don't think you can do it with just your diet. That era has passed. The most common problem with thyroid problems is hypo, which means it's not working enough. And now it's just beginning to become recognized that even if you're in that normal range, it's not normal. It's 0.4 to 4.5 on your TSH. And if that's all you have for a thyroid test, remember that is just the thyroid stimulating hormone. That is a measure of is your pituitary putting out the signal. It's not even a measure of what your thyroid's doing. There's a lot of signs and symptoms. And keep in mind these symptoms can go along with many other diseases, and it's really, I think, a wise thing to do to get some lab work. And, I do pretty careful listening Janet says for a man, I listen real well, so I have her fooled. Sometimes if you have throat pain or difficult when you swallow, it just doesn't seem like it wants to go down. You may have a goiter. Your heartbeat can go slower. Your eyes can get really, really puffy. Irritability, although I would like to say that can be caused by many, many different things. Menstrual cycles that don't work correctly. Irregularities are really, really heavy. Talked to a young lady this morning in Dallas. She works with the Dallas Cowboys with the ticket holders. And she said, well, I hated to get on birth control pills, and I know the side effects, long-term side effects, but can you fix this? I said, well, I don't know. Let's get some lab and find out. And she's wanting to do it very, very naturally because her daddy's a chiropractor, so they have a tendency to do as much natural as possible. And then it's a good thing to go to the medical profession, but I usually use the drugs as a last resort. Some people, when they get muscle cramps, and we don't necessarily think that as a thyroid issue, but it certainly could be. Muscle weakness, nervousness, Barney Fife syndrome, that kind of thing. I would say poor memory, but sometimes I don't remember to say that. Could be like Janet, hypotension. And hypo, keep in mind, that's less than what it should be. Her blood pressure's always been a little bit low. Yes.
I was wondering what he was referring to there. I'm less than I should be. I was wondering where that was going. That's good. Low blood pressure. That's good. That's good.
She's always sweet. She has to calm me down. But then if you have lower blood pressure, it may not be your thyroid, although it's possible it could also be your adrenal glands.
From stress.
The stress of living with me, possibly.
I found it interesting that your thyroid could be involved with things like symptoms of cravings. Did you know that chromium is actually the nutrient deficiency for that?
I posted something really funny to a young lady named Trish on our Shooting Straight with Dr. Lewis. Y'all should join that one. And if you're craving broccoli, and I said, really, you need to put bourbon with it. But she thought that was kind of funny considering the stress she was going through. So, yeah, chromium. What people don't realize is that you don't get these nutrients out of the soil, because even if it was in the soil, and it's pretty much not, the way we fertilize our plants does not allow the plants to take up calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So you're getting very, very little in the plants that you eat, even the ones that eat a good plant-based diet. Of course, I like meat, and we just had a lady in says, well, her lambs were having really a super problem living because there was a selenium deficiency. So it's not just the humans that are affected by this.
Yeah, and the selenium deficiency is actually one of the symptoms of that is infections. That you're always getting infections. You actually need selenium.
It's a big immune system booster, but then so is zinc. How do you figure it out?
Zinc is hair loss. That'll help.
I do not have a zinc deficiency. I love when people come in and say, do you have a cure for baldness? And I bend my head down and says, does it look like I've got a cure? And I've got a beautiful head of hair. Thank you, Mama, for your genetic input on that one.
Well, that does help me figure out, because I've started losing hair again, too, and I had not for a while. And thyroid is very much related to it. But I had handfuls of it coming out again, and I thought, what is going on? And then I see this that says zinc, and I realize I have not been taking my zinc like I should be, or only taking it half strength. So,
and that can be from stress, which is on all kinds of other lists that I've made here. And, Janet's stress is running the business. We have, you have to realize, folks, that stress can be good things that are happening that create stress also. And some of us have stress that's self-imposed only by the way we think about things. It's very important that we think about what's good, what's pure, and our blessings in life, because you get more of it. And then I can tell you who's going to get well when I talk to them versus who is not. You have people that say, oh, this is better, this is better, this is better. Those are the ones that get well. And then we have some that go on and on and on and on. like this email says, this is also confusing, and I'm researching so much, and I just started an autoimmune paleo protocol. Do you have any knowledge on this? I already gave this young lady many emails, and I'm the one that told her she had an autoimmune disease, but she gets on Google and she gets confused. The best way to be a failure in your health is get on Google. It's the old story of too many cooks spoil the soup. So find something you have faith in, capitalize that, and jump on it. So one of the things, we're looking for a way to help us with gluten, and gluten is generally one of the biggest causes, if not the only cause, at least a major contributing cause, not just to celiac disease, but to Hashimoto's, or the autoimmune disease affecting the thyroid. And anybody that's been around me any length of time know that I repeat, plastics, pesticides, fire retardants, heavy metals. You get a big dose of fire retardants every night when you sleep on your pillow and your mattress. So we save 12 people a year that get drunk and fall asleep with a cigarette, and they don't burn themselves up. But how many thousands are we killing with the cancer that comes from the fire retardants? And there's some really good research, not this Google stuff, which is sometimes deleted information or distorted information. I've seen a lot of it. Go to United States Department of Agriculture. Go to United States Department of Health and Human Services. Go to the real research from the Journal of the American Medical Association, Lancet, British Medical Journal, the really good research. But there's so many toxins in our system, in our environment, and aspartame is one of the best ones. Have you ever noticed that people that start taking the diet drinks don't lose weight? They actually put on weight. And I see this over and over again. Aspartame has been known to trick your brain into depositing 4 times more fat than sugar would, and not that sugar's good, and high fructose corn syrup's full of mercury. So try to stay away from these toxins. MSG, it's terrible. The BPAs is terrible. Some people would claim that 40% of the American population has a thyroid condition. That's 4 out of 10, folks. I personally think it's worse than that. It's just a matter of degrees. But it's the toxic environment that's fueling the increased rates of the thyroid disorders. BPA in baby bottles. That's been banned, but if you'll really look at what's in those plastic baby bottles, and Janet has done this, there was about 12 to 13 other estrogen mimicking plastics. We got this question from a man up in Frisco the other day. Well, his, I think, 9-year-old daughter's going through puberty early, and it's like, well, read the research on precocious telarchy in Puerto Rican girls. That'll scare the holy heck out of you and make you want to take more supplements so that you have more nutrients so that your body can detoxify these things. Even the thermal paper in credit card machines has gotten to be a problem. I wouldn't feed my babies from plastic. If you're going to microwave something, which is maybe a problem in itself, never microwave in plastic or styrofoam. You can't really avoid it, so you just have to increase the nutrients so your body has the ability to detoxify. And the BPA has a feminizing effect on animals, which result in the malformation of sex organs. Anybody that's 30, 40, 50 years of age have noticed there's a massive amount of increased feminine traits in males. So, and I've been taken to task on that by some people. And I said, well, this is the science here. And I showed it to them. I said, it's not me making judgments on you whatsoever. But BPA is an endocrine disrupting compound. It's pretty serious. Halides like bromine, fluorine, and chlorine, well, that's in everything. You don't have cleaning products normally that doesn't contain these. and you want to minimize your exposure, Janet and I bought a chemical-free hot tub. Well, guess what, folks? It wasn't chemical-free. So we paid $5,000 or so. Had somebody tear the entire wall out because the doors weren't big enough to get it in our sunroom, and then paid to have it closed back up, and then realized how many chemicals went in it. It's like, we're not getting in that nasty thing, because we could tell on our lab we were absorbing too much stuff, bromine, from the chemicals that had to be put in a hot tub. So, it's a $5,000 plus construction mistake that we made.
I think it's actually interesting that iron deficiencies lead to thyroid illness. And people think, well, I'm not deficient in iron because I have my CBC test. When it comes back, it says that I'm never having a problem with that. Many times that goes undetected because you can be dehydrated and it'll make your CBC look like it's okay. And we run the stored iron on our lab, and someone's actually anemic. And there's things that block your iron if you're thinking, well, I don't understand why my iron wouldn't be right. Things like coffee and tea will block your iron absorption. Acid blockers that you're taking as prescription drugs, and acids like Maalox and Mylanta. Antibiotics will actually block your iron absorption. Blood pressure medication, oral contraceptives, and hormone replacement therapy. How many of you are getting that now? It is rampant of how many people are getting their hormones replaced. Well, it's mugging your other key ingredients that you need for basic minerals.
We want to give you enough information so that you ask the question, why do the men have low testosterone? And then if that's the answer, why do we have lawyers advertising? If you've been injured from taking testosterone, exogenous testosterone, call me and we'll sue the heck out of them. And it's like, well, our medical profession's a really, really good profession, but our country is very nutrient deficient in a big way.
What about excessive calcium supplementation? How many of you are, well, I can tell you how many of you are coming in here that your doctors have sent you in here because you have bone loss, so they tell you to get a whole bunch of calcium to stop the bone loss. Did you realize that can make the thyroid not work correctly and make you iron deficient?
That's really a good point. I'm not a big fan of calcium without an appropriate ratio of magnesium.
And maybe you should speak to the people about why they need magnesium to go with calcium instead of just doing calcium for their bones.
Well, number one, just to make Janet happy, if you take magnesium at night, not only do you sleep deeper and your muscles are more relaxed and it decreases the acidity, it also makes you poop because it gathers water. It's hydroscopic. So then Janet can tell the train story. She's famous for that. Magnesium has over 300 different enzyme activities just on your brain that helps you be healthier. I mean, that's one of the easiest, simplest, least expensive possibilities to make you feel better mentally. We've been going on a lot of other people's podcasts lately, and they seem to want to know about stress, anxiety, and depression. Well, it could be from your thyroid, your adrenal glands. Could be because you've got a toxic spouse. But certainly it's because you have a toxic diet. And folks, I want you to be realistic. When I talk to people and they say, well, I'm 5'3" and I weigh 285 pounds, but I eat good. What they're really saying to me is, I don't want to take responsibility. It's got to be something else. And I'm going to continue to eat what I'm eating and how much I'm eating. I've seen people that eat, in my opinion, very, very, very clean, and they're still not losing weight. Well, it doesn't matter. It does, but you can still get too many calories from good food, and you kind of have to go into a calorie deficit so that your body begins to burn fat off the body. I'm more of a fan of the Atkins paleo primal Mediterranean way of thinking, which is moderate protein, high fat, but it's high good fat, and then copious amounts of the fibrous, non-starchy, low glycemic vegetables. I'm much more of a fan of that. And that helps you burn fat, which helps get rid of these toxins we're talking about that are stored there.
Back to zinc leading to thyroid illness. Some clues you have a zinc deficiency include all the symptoms of thyroid illness, including hair loss or thinning, loss of taste or smell, erectile dysfunction, and chronic diarrhea.
Okay, men, order your zinc.
Yeah, see, it could be something that simple. Zinc.
We don't care about anything, but
I understand.
Never mind.
Ours is hair. Women is hair.
Hair and weight loss. That's all women care about. Men don't care about anything except testosterone and getting
not having erectile dysfunction.
Sorry.
Zinc is needed for your TSH hormone to work and to help you produce your free T3 as opposed to reverse T3. Zinc helps activate your thyroid hormone. So it's not just about treating thyroid. Did you know that you lose zinc when you have a monthly cycle, ladies?
And the more sugar you eat, the more zinc that it takes, and then you lose your taste, so you need that, quick onset of the sugary food. So it gets to be a self-perpetuating cycle and lowers your immune system.
Now, zinc is actually a strong anti-inflammatory modulator and helps with autoimmune thyroid illness.
I take zinc and selenium every day, as well as boron. But boron is not just for building strong bones, it's for building testosterone.
And it also helps with diabetes, because many times those two conditions go hand in hand. And the things that rob your zinc are, beside having, for women, it's a cycle.
Sugar.
Antibiotics.
Yep.
And actually chocolate. Because it's...
crap,
Janet. I know. Because it's high in copper, which reduces zinc when you eat too much.
She says I'm the female because I tell people, when your wife comes back and you're happy, I like dark beer and dark chocolate. She says I'm the female because I'll eat chocolate.
I'll just give him more zinc. Actually, cholesterol medicines block your zinc also. Again, and acids block it.
And acids block all sorts of things. If you have to take them for comfort, I understand. I never tell anybody to get off anything, but you have to take a good digestive enzyme.
Diuretics used for edema and blood pressure will block it.
Sure, you tinkle it out much more quickly.
And again, hormone replacement therapy is taken away. It seems to be taking people's minerals away, things that they have to have.
And I'm amazed at the medical doctors that actually send people down to us. And I want to just say one thing, a little bit off the subject, but this is how bad, toxic the world is. That just talking about bromine, and that's just one of thousands of possible problems we have. The amount of bromine in human breast milk is tenfold worse from 1993 versus 2003. In 10 years, it got 10 times worse in breast milk, and breast milk is way better for these babies than the soy-based formulas.
Is bromine what we had in the hot tub?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't get it in. I think we got in it twice and then said, well, that's a $5,000 mistake. Yeah. And perchlorates, triclosan, PCBs, and it just goes on and on.
Well, the other nutrient deficiency that your thyroid could be having because it's been robbed of the nutrients is vitamin A. That's your dry skin issue.
And immune system issue, and it also contributes to better lung function. And that's why one of my favorite supplements is ADK2. So it's the vitamin A, which helps actually heal the gut lining, which is being cratered by the gluten. And we have a lot of vegetarians and vegans that choose to use our services. And once I tell them, well, you really need to get rid of the gluten-containing grains, and then it really limits what they can eat. But the vitamin A does help somewhat. The digestive enzymes help, and massive amounts of continual probiotics.
And I think one of our favorite products that we use for the thyroid and to help put some minerals back is called Thyrobuild. It's a doctor's nutrition product. A lot of times it's because the fluoride is a drug mugger of iodine. And the Thyroid Build has the iodine in it and a bunch of these minerals that we're speaking of. So you don't have to go, okay, I got to buy this one and I got to buy that one. It's kind of all together in that product. So that's one of our favorites.
With the amino acid tyrosine that makes you feel good mentally, that's also very good in converting T4 to T3, which is the active thyroid hormone. So, if it's hypothyroid, and it could be other things, what if you are cold, you have intolerance? What if you're constipated? Well, your thyroid has a huge influence on gastrointestinal function. What if you have the elevated cholesterol? And I'm not a big fan of worrying about cholesterol unless it gets really crazy high. And I read a lot of books, and I'll read a lot of real research that would lead me to believe that's not really that big a factor in heart health unless there are other parts of the equation like homocysteine, fibrinogen, B12, C-reactive protein. So cholesterol, many times when we get the thyroid functioning correctly, the cholesterol comes down on its own.
And if you're hearing all of this for the first time and you're overwhelmed and don't know really where to start or what's wrong, our favorite thing to do is to get you to fill out a health survey on our website. And then that way, Dr. Lewis can assess how to get your health back. We'd have you go to acutabovenaturals.com, fill out the health survey. It comes to Dr. Lewis. He will call you and discuss with you what blood panel is best for you. So many of you out there have taken advantage of the offer that we have where he talks to you for no charge. You just can't beat that. And the lab panels that are online, you cannot purchase online. You do have to have him call you and talk to you about it because that's something that only he can order because of his doctor's license. But that way you're not guessing at what you need to help all these different minerals in thyroid. We run 5 parts of your thyroid, so we're not guessing at what part's not right. We look at minerals and vitamins that are in the lab. We can tell you, are you not digesting your food? Are you lacking minerals? It's just a great way to take the guesswork out of your nutrition without you having to go buy a whole bunch of things that we're talking about that you may or may not need. And if you don't want to do lab, that's fine too. Just pick up a multivitamin. We always suggest doing like our Megavites 1 because it's a good, well-rounded vitamin. And with thyroid health, the Thyroid Build, because that's a great way to start too. Those two things together would make a huge difference in how you felt. But if you want to get specific, do the lab. It's located close to where you live. We can order it across the United States, and it's usually one very close to your residence.
Unless you're in Wyoming or Montana.
Then
or
everything's
North
far.
Dakota. Yeah.
You're used to driving anyway. But, like I said, go to the website, fill out the health survey, and get started and start having a life worth living and quit feeling bad. You don't have to feel bad. You're obviously still here for a reason. You need to feel good and get inspired to do what you were called to do here during this time you have on this earth.
Oh, that's really good. I really think the best thing we can do to get well is to find out why. And people say, but I want to feel better. And I keep asking the question, okay, why do you want to feel better? Well, I just want to feel better. And I'll ask, well, what would that mean to you? I don't know. I just want to feel better. When you figure out, well, I want to feel better because, I want to live and see my 6-year-old daughter graduate high school and walk her down the aisle when she gets married, then and only then can you have the motivation to do that. I've seen a few people that would hit a bump in the road and quit, and then they continue to live their miserable life. And it's like, don't do that. We're here to help you. We're here to hug you, even if it's over the phone. Put on my cheerleading outfit, because you have to go through the bad days to have more, better, and bigger good days that are coming.
And I will say one more thing about natural medicine. Some of you that have gotten started here are very excited and they get going. And then a couple of weeks into it, they say, I just don't feel any better. Here's the rule of thumb for natural medicine. It takes a minimum of 3 months before the body starts making changes, and then a month for every year you've felt bad or been sick. So that kind of puts a different reality to natural medicine because we're into fixing the root of it, where medication, on the other hand, suppresses the symptom. So you get used to having that symptom suppressed but not corrected. And so you look for that when you're starting to take natural medicine. They're completely two different entities. So I ask the people that don't do well with patience or time to try to find that and have more, because it does take that in order to gain health.
Yeah, it takes faith and trust, consistency and commitment and courage. But we have so many people that have done that and achieved great results. That's been a big blessing to their family and to the people that they work with. So you just kind of have to stick it out and find out why you want to feel better, why you want to get well.
And like I said, if you think you have a thyroid problem, there's no time like now to get started. We appreciate you listening to this week's show, and we will be back here next time with a very exciting show on the Doctor's Nutrition of Texas show. You guys have a blessed week.